Crimson Trace introduces a line of feature-rich world-class rifle scopes. This new line features 8 custom-designed reticles for specific applications, as well as a full lifetime warranty on all scopes. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, where a right is always a right, not a privilege.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham. The number here is 866-TALK-GUN, or style Tom Talk Gun. And we are open lines. If there's a gun that you're thinking about buying and you want to tell me about it, we'll talk about it. By all means, call me. If you've been out doing some shooting, give us a range report. We'd love to get that. It's an interesting time thinking about how many guns are being introduced all the time now. It used to be the guns came out once a year. SHOT Show was the big introduction time. And you had to wait a year for all the new guns to come out. Now they just come out continuously, and there's all these new guns and new calibers and new things going on all the time. It's a completely different world, and that also applies to the world of what we have always called it kitchen table gunsmithing. And it's a different thing now than it was some 30 or 40 years ago. Joining me to talk about that and things that you can do, Caleb Savant joins us from Brownell. Hey, Caleb, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Tom. Thanks for having me.
You bet. I'm thinking back to when, before you were around, and when I was young, a lot of folks doing gunsmithing at home would do it in the basement. And I mean, some of them even went up to the point of having lathes and everything else because you had to have your full set of Brownell's tools, which is always good to have. But gunsmithing was really gunsmithing, and now a lot of it is kind of almost assembling, isn't it?
A lot of it is. That's absolutely right. It's come a long way in terms of what the user can actually do as far as their own custom work.
Well, what it's done is it's made it possible for people like me who have 2 left thumbs to do what you could call it gunsmithing. I don't know if it is. It's a kind of just putting the parts together, but it allows me to do things like that, I can't crown a barrel. And I can't chamber, do a chamber reamer or any of that stuff. I wouldn't trust myself. But this stuff I can put together.
Yeah, absolutely. You certainly can. And with all the new parts out there, everything's basically pre-fit for you. So you can you can throw it together and have a functional firearm. And it's a piece of art that you did, and it's yours. You can make it your own.
I mean, we're talking about, even the first time, it's going to take you a little while. But after that, you can build one of these in an hour from a box of parts, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
All right. So it seems to me that one of the areas that, and people are building ARs and all different variations and all, but the pistol caliber carbine seems to be a hot thing. So what's going on there?
So popularity with that has been slowly, I won't say slowly, it's been rapidly increasing. And I think a big part of it is that the pistols in general have, as far as custom pistols you can do as well, have become a lot more popular. Right. And with the pistol caliber carbine, it's the same process, very similar process as building an AR-15, but you're doing it in a pistol caliber such as 9 or 45. I'll use those two since those are the 2 most popular. Okay. And with that, your range trips become a lot more affordable because those pistol calibers are a lot more affordable. And
that's
you can
true.
use that.
The ammo's a lot cheaper on 9mm than it is, say, on 5.56.
In most cases, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and with that being said, you now run into only having to go to the store, get one type of ammunition. You can run that in your pistol, your AR, and be good to go from there. Also, you have a lower recoil impulse in those pistol caliber carbines, so it's a good thing for new shooters as well, training them up also.
So for those who don't know, I mean, for an AR, you basically need a receiver, a lower, if you will, and you can start with a stripped lower. Then you need the parts kit. Then you need the upper, and you could get the upper. You can buy it with the barrel on there. And but you can't, this is obvious, but maybe it's not obvious. It has to be a pistol caliber receiver, right?
So not necessarily. They make kits out there now. You can take, I'll use this as an example. You already have an AR-15. You want to convert to a pistol caliber carbine. Mm-hmm. They make magazine well inserts you put into your lower receiver, and now you can use a Glock magazine. And then all you need to do from there is have a pistol caliber upper, like a 9mm upper receiver, and you're good to go from there. It's a simple conversion.
That's like a 5-minute conversion.
It is. It certainly is. You just knock out a few pins, push that magwell insert in, tighten it down, and you're good to go.
I should point out, we're not talking about making your rifle a pistol. That's not what we're doing here. We're actually using a 16-inch barrel, so it remains a legal rifle. It's just firing handgun cartridges.
Exactly.
At that point, one of the things that becomes interesting and fun, particularly if you're using subsonic ammo, is putting a suppressor on your carbine.
Absolutely. You run the subsonic 9mm with a suppressor on that carbine, and then you're into a really quiet game there, and you don't even need ear protection at the range in most cases whenever you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that becomes fun. Because, I mean, yes, we run suppressors on 5.56s, but they're not hearing safe. You still have to wear your hearing protection for those. I mean, they're still loud.
Right.
But a subsonic 147 grain subsonic 9 is really quiet when you put a suppressor on it. And with that longer barrel, even more so. I mean, yeah, you pick up a little bit more velocity, but you're also losing a lot of the gases out there. So it kind of offsets. It's very cool. So, I mean, are there any tricks to know, anything special to know about putting together your pistol caliber carbine?
There are. The main step that most people overlook is going to be changing out the buffer in those pistol caliber carbines versus your AR-15. Now, that's only when you're doing the conversions. Now, there's two ways to go about it. You can either do a conversion or you can do a dedicated build, which they make billet lower receivers that take Glock magazines or Colt submachine gun or their SMG magazines, style magazines. Either one of those will fit into that receiver. You can do a dedicated build there and have it set up each way. And you can also do a pistol caliber carbine with the pistol brace set up as well.
Yeah, I know that Brownell's has really gotten into doing these instructional videos in a big way. If you guys have videos on how to put together one of these?
We do have some pistol caliber carbine videos that are very informative. Yes, we do. Steve Ostrom has done a great job in explaining those. Yeah,
and also, I mean, just in terms of just building an AR, you got the videos on that. I mean, so people understand you really can build your own gun and customize it, and there may be 100 different parts for your forend. There may be 100 different options for your barrel, for your upper, and a couple of dozen different trigger groups available. You just can pick and choose, and if you don't like that, you take it off and you put a different part on.
Absolutely. There's so many options out there, and all you need to do is basically just get your lower receiver. You start with a blank canvas, and then there's so many options out there, and a lot of them are cross-compatible, so they're perfectly compatible with each other. And at that point, it becomes, for me personally, how I see it, whether you're building a custom Mauser or you're just putting an AR receiver together, it becomes functional art in the form of a firearm.
And for those, just to make sure people understand, the receiver is the part that has the serial number, so that is the actual firearm. So it is, you're going to buy this as you would a firearm, go through an FFL, and you do the background check, so all the paperwork's done. After that, it's just putting parts on and taking them off and having a grand old time.
That's correct.
Caleb, can you hold on a second? I want to take a quick break. I want to come back and talk about gunsmithing tools and kind of where we are with basic gunsmithing.
Sounds great.
All right. 866 Talk Gun. If you have a gunsmithing question, from experience, I'm not your guy, but Caleb is. You can call me right now, 866 Talk Gun.
The Armed Citizen Legal Defense Network is a big family of gun owners standing together to protect individual members from unmeritorious prosecution after an act of self-defense. Our network family now exceeds 17,000 members protected by a $2 million legal defense fund. Shouldn't you be part of the network too? Join the family at armedcitizensnetwork.org. That's armedcitizensnetwork.org or call 360-978-5200.
Whether you carry it on your hip or in your hands, when it's from Springfield Armory, your gun is a part of the legendary line, the great 1911 pistols, the innovative XD, XDM, and XDS pistols for competition and defense, the new 911 carry pistol, guns you can count on. Shooters everywhere rave about the Saint pistols and rifles, and of course, the mighty M1A battle rifle. Check out the latest at springfield-armory.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
For 25 years, Crimson Trace has led the industry in laser and light technology and customer service. Now, Crimson Trace is proud to offer electronic sights and rifle scopes for tactical, target, and hunting applications, with the same Crimson Trace offer of free batteries for life on all products. The new rifle scope line is also backed by an unconditional lifetime warranty from the brand that you have trusted for over 2 decades. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Hey, welcome back. 866 Talk Gun. We're talking with Caleb Savant from Brownells, brownells.com. Originally, pretty much a company that catered to gunsmiths, and now, of course, sells guns and ammunition and all sorts of things, reloading gear. But Caleb, the history of the company, it's deeply rooted in gunsmithing. And I was going to ask you about gunsmithing tools and all, but I'm just going to throw out, I'm not a gunsmith, but I do know the one thing that everybody needs. I don't care who you are. You need the Brownells Magnatip screwdriver set of some form. I have 2 or 3 of them around. It's the best darn screwdrivers that you could ever use on guns.
Absolutely, it is, and it's one that I've been using since I first started gunsmithing. That was, really how I first got introduced to Brownells was through gunsmithing tools when I first became a gunsmith, and back to my roots of originally starting gunsmithing and in your neck of the woods down there in South Louisiana. It's something that I've always used.
How long have you been gunsmithing?
I have been gunsmithing now for right around 8 years.
Okay. And made your way up to Iowa, work for Brownells. That's kind of like going to the show, and when it comes to baseball, I mean that's like the best place to be.
It certainly is, and I was fortunate enough to get that opportunity about just under 2 years ago. I made the move up here.
It's an amazing company, a lot of great people there. One of the things I think people don't know is when you have a question, you can call Brownells and talk to one of you guys. They call you guys the gun techs, and you will actually talk to people and help them diagnose and figure out what their problem is. Absolutely, we will. And I get calls from hobbyists and professional gunsmiths alike. And we will sit there with you, and we'll go through the entire process, help diagnose every issue, and do what we can to get you going. What happens if you get a call and you just don't know the answer? Well, fortunately, we have a pretty good mix of guys, and their knowledge bases, we all play off of one another. So if there's something I don't know, chances are one of my coworkers will be able to help you out. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, between all of you, there's probably somebody's got an answer to almost everything. I would think so. I'll say this, we haven't come across anything yet that I'm aware of that one of us hasn't been able to answer. Hey, I got a call coming in here. I want to take this. Frank's on line 4 coming out of Woodland Park, Colorado. Frank, what are you looking for here?
How we doing? I'm passing through Kansas on my way to Philadelphia from Colorado, and I picked up your show. It's very interesting. I have a gun. It's called a Par 3. It shoots a .223 or a 5.56. It was made during the Clinton ban, and it is a pump action. It looks like a miniature AK-47. I have taken this gun to every gun show that I found. Nobody can tell me what kind of magazine I can put in. I saw one on gunbrokers.com that had a 30-round magazine, and every gun guy has tried a different magazine, and I can't seem to find one that fits it.
I have no idea. Caleb, you have any thoughts?
I don't know off the top of my head what magazine that firearm takes, but I have seen those, and I know exactly which firearm you're talking about. I would say give us a call sometime during the week, and we'll get you up and going on that.
Did you catch that, Frank?
Everybody I show this gun to wants to buy it from me, but they just can't give me the information on where I can get a 30-round magazine for it.
Oh, that's right. They'll help you out by buying it from you, but not by giving you the info on the magazine. Tell you what, if you'll call the Brownells folks during the week, they'll bounce it around the text, and I would bet about a 90% chance that they're going to be able to help you out on that deal. It's for those who want to know, it's that number is 800-741-0015, or just go to brownells.com, and the number's right there. Caleb, those are the kind of questions you guys get. You go, kind of like raise your hand and go, all right, everybody, need some help with this one.
Yep, that's exactly it. Something that they didn't make very many of like that. We kind of got to bounce around and play off of each other's experiences. But yes,
one of the questions I get a lot is people looking for parts, and that's kind of a scavenger hunt at times, isn't it? It
certainly can be, and the good thing about that also is we know a lot of sources for obsolete parts. So we don't have it. Typically, for the most part, we deal in current production gun parts.
Right.
But all of our gun techs there are gunsmiths, and we've all been knowing where to get parts for these types of firearms, and we can point you in the right direction.
I mean, I've had it happen to say, well, we don't have that. But I remember, Jim over at Big Cedar Guns, he really had a bunch of stuff for the Winchester Model 21s. You might want to check with him on that. I mean, that's that kind of thing, if you guys know.
That's exactly how it goes.
So what have you been working on, recently that's interesting? What are you seeing?
As far as
just guns, Brownell's guns. I mean, or anything. I mean, if there's a particular gun that you like to, you can't be doing this without loving guns and being into it. So you probably got your own projects as well as work projects.
Always, yes. I always have my own projects going on. I have a soft spot for old, out-of-production 22 rifles. I like finding those, fixing those up, restoring them. Also, I have a custom Mauser build going on right now. And over at Brownell's, we have our full retro lineup that we're working on. We have the BRN 180s. Those are pretty popular right now as well, and then very innovative. And we're fortunate to be doing well with those and providing to that customer base, and we're getting some really good feedback on those.
Yeah, the idea
options.
That these are basically duplicates of vintage military guns. If you want like an early Vietnam era AR-looking gun, it's there, and because there's a lot of people who said, hey, that's the gun that I carried when I was over there, or that kind of thing. And that's the series you're talking about, right?
That's exactly right.
That's very cool. Just really neat stuff there. So, all right, somebody says, yeah, I'd kind of like to try, I'm kind of handy, I'd like to try gunsmithing. What's a good project for them to get started on?
Well, a good starter project, just to kind of introduce yourself to the tools and everything like that, is go for an AR-15 build. Even if you don't put the upper receiver together, just do the lower receiver. That's kind of a good introduction to how the trigger mechanism and everything like that works. In a way that I started also was just cleaning any gun that I can get my hand on, just completely stripping it down, cleaning it, and putting it back together. Not just putting it back together, but understanding how each part works and what part does what. And that's where you're going to get your mechanical understanding for that firearm. And really, that's the best place to start gunsmithing, is to do that.
Take things apart, put them back together, and in the process, it's always occurred to me that a gunsmith has to be able to see things in 3D to understand how this moves, and then it actuates that, and then it moves this thing, and that spring engages. And when you've got all your parts laid out there on the table, you kind of got that.
Exactly. And, so, for example, when someone calls in, has a problem with a gun, what I'm doing in my mind is I'm going through every component of that firearm and the process of what's happening and where it's stopping at. And from there, I can usually diagnose what the issue is just by doing that and having that set of knowledge.
Let's talk for a second about safety things that people need to be aware of if they're going to work on or assemble guns?
Yes. Eye protection, and if you're going to be assembling AR-15 upper receivers or putting barrels in firearms, headspace gauges. Headspace gauges.
Eye protection, because springs have a way of throwing things in weird places, and stuff happens, and just wear some clear eye protection while you're working on guns. Okay, that makes sense. Describe what a headspace gauge is. So
a headspace gauge is going to ensure, or let you ensure, that chamber in that rifle is compatible with that particular bolt you're using, so that you don't run into excessive headspace or too little headspace, which can cause a peak in chamber pressure or case to rupture, and it's a big safety concern, and headspace gauges will save you from that. Yeah, you need headspace gauges, you need go, no-go gauges. I mean, it is an important thing. Yeah, as you say, too little headspace, and you could jam a cartridge in, actually crimp the case down on the bullet. You could end up with excess pressure, but too much headspace, now you have a case stretches out, actually split the case open, and you got a face full of powder. If you're lucky. If you're lucky, that's all you got. Yeah. Right. Have had that happen, not because of headspace. Oh, you put the wrong round in a rifle, you can have that happen too. Just, I've heard that. It's true. Not saying it happened to me, but yes, it did happen to me. So be careful out there. Caleb, thank you so much. This is really good info. I love the idea that you guys help people do this when they say, I don't know how to do it. The Brownell's website, you got it. And if you get stuck, call and you can talk to one of your gun techs. Yeah, absolutely. And part of my passion, and a lot of my coworkers' passions, is actually spreading this information. So it's been a real pleasure. Absolutely. Well, all right. We take care and keep building, keep working on them. Yeah, will do. Thank you so much. All righty. Fun stuff. And it's never been easier to be your own gunsmith or assembler, whatever you want to call it. And you can say, I'm gonna put a better trigger in. I'm gonna put a better barrel in. Oh, I like this type of forward. I'm gonna try that thing. We're going to try that. Oh, yeah, see if we can run it a little bit. And then you just keep going on and on. And every time you do something, you learn something. It just becomes a process. It's kind of addictive, actually. 866-TALK-GUN. Have you assembled an AR? Tell me about it.
This is Milo Lardbottom, Junior Under Assistant Deputy to the Assistant Director of Deputy Affairs for the Department of Homeland Security, with a special message for listeners of Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. We know who you are. We know where you are. You're right by your radio. We have special cameras that can see into your radio. I have a special monitor built into my aluminum foil helmet. We are watching you, so don't try anything funny, Buster.
Well, this week we'll be shooting some more episodes of First Person Defender. If you haven't seen our First Person Defender show, well, first of all, shame on you. What have you been doing? But you can check it out. It's on YouTube, on our Amazon Fire, Roku channels. Just look for Gun Talk Media. First Person Defender, we take regular, anybody, just person, put it into a self-defense situation. We use semi-ditions. Those things hurt like the dickens. And it could be an ATM robbery, a carjacking, an active shooter. Somebody goes into a city council meeting, loses it, that kind of thing. You're walking down the street at night, somebody approaches you, you don't know what exactly the situation is. And then we see what people do. And then after we do one run through, we do a little bit of instruction with them. We run them through once or twice more and see how they improve, if they improve. It's really eye-opening. It's called First Person Defender. And as I say, you can see it on YouTube, on our Amazon Fire, our Roku channels. Again, look for Gun Talk Media. Oh, my goodness, look at this. Elizabeth Warren wants a whole bunch new gun control laws. Federal licensing system, she wants. Universal background checks. That is, you would not be able to loan or give a gun to someone without the government's permission. Let's see here. I love this one. Increasing the taxes on gun manufacturers. Clearly not understanding that gun makers only collect taxes and pass them along. We, the consumers, are the ones who pay them. currently we're paying 11% tax on guns, 10% on handguns. She would like for us to pay 50% tax on ammunition, so that $30 a box of ammo would now cost you $45 because you're going to be paying 50% more in taxes. It's a ban. Come on, it's just what it is. She wants more waiting periods. She wants to ration how many guns you can buy, period. Let's see. It goes on and on and on. She wants to get rid of guns. Come on, like all of the Democrats. They're racing to see who can be the most radical, the craziest on this thing. Let's talk to Don in Lewiston, Idaho on 2. Hey, Don, you're on Gun Talk.
Oh, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, comment for you that I kind of run through is on these so-called enhanced background checks.
Mm-hmm.
The supposed purpose is to keep firearms out of the hands of the people that aren't supposed to have them, namely the bad guys and the mentally incompetent and so forth. Aren't there laws on the books already against that sort of thing?
Now, don't go getting all logical on me here, Don. I mean, that's just not allowed.
I know logic is hard to put across to the left. They don't understand it very well.
No, you're right. I mean, the most obvious thing here is that bad guys don't obey the law. They will steal the guns. They will do whatever it takes. You know, and the very idea that it's like the idiocy of a no gun sign. Yeah, the guy he's going to show up to murder people. And he is somehow dissuaded from doing that because there's a sign there, or he didn't fill out the paperwork, or whatever. It's moronic. It's idiotic. And you know, look, I don't want to sound like a slogan, but these guys stop shooting people when somebody with a gun shows up, however long that takes.
That's
30 seconds, you know, and Dayton, it was 30 seconds. Great work by the police. I mean, great work.
Yeah.
Yes, he shot some people while he was doing that. How many more would he have shot if we hadn't had a good guy show up? Good guy, and here's the deal. I don't care if the good guy's wearing a uniform or any other kind of clothes. If you're a good guy or a gal and you got a gun and you can stop this guy, go for it. Simple as that.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, sir. I appreciate your call.
That was a little worthwhile comment that most of what they're trying to prevent with this new thing is already against the law.
You're 100% right. Thank you, sir. Randy's in Amarillo, Texas on 3. Hey, Randy, you made it on to Gun Talk.
Oh, that's great. Tom, I thought I was aware that the great state of Texas made it. I mean, I know they have an open carry law. I don't own any guns at this time. I used to, but I don't this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to purchase one. But I thought they made it where these stores couldn't stop you from carrying a gun in their premises. I see some stores, I see people carrying, and places like what happened in El Paso at Walmart. I just wonder, is it up to the store policy, or what is the policy on that?
All right. Well, I don't live in Texas, but here's what I think I know, okay? There's a sign called a 30-06 and one called a 30-07. 2 different laws, 2 different signs. If they have the 30-06 sign up, it means no concealed carry in there, and a 30-07 means no open carry in the store. And the store is able to put those signs up and block that. Clearly, bad guys don't care. And so what they're doing is they're saying, if you are a law-abiding person, we're going to prevent you from having your self-defense gun in here. If you are, in fact, a maniacal murderer, we actually can't do anything about that, but we will guarantee you that you don't have anybody here who's going to stop you.
That's right. And my opinion on that is that's ludicrous. And if somebody's been in El Paso, that guy would have been stopped sooner.
Yeah, I mean, that's what always happens.
Passed the law to where that they couldn't stop you, and I wasn't for sure on that. So
yeah, no. It's my understanding that if they have the 30-07 sign up, it's you can't open carry in there. That's my understanding. I appreciate the call, sir, and somebody from Texas may call and correct me, and that's okay. We can take care of that. Correct me if you will. 866-TALK-GUN. Barry, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you, get your story about assembling an AR. If you're an AR builder, shooter, modifier, love to hear the things that you have done to your rifle. Again, 866-TALK-GUN.
you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
This is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway. This month, enter to win with Surefire. One person will win Surefire's X300U handgun light, featuring a stunning 1,000 lumens. And two folks will win Surefire Stiletto rechargeable pocket flashlight. Enter now through August 30th at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gundealio app today. With Gundealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gundealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
This is Jeff with Black Hills Ammunition. Our Honey Badger line now features a new 40 Smith & Wesson caliber loading. Gelatin testing shows that this round outperforms conventional hollow points, not only in terms of velocity, penetration, and weight retention, but it also provides superior temporary cavities. The profile and solid copper construction assure flawless feeding. This is the latest technology in handgun performance. Black Hills Ammunition, the power of performance.
All right, back with you, 866 Talk Gun. Just got in a box of ammo. Oh, man, looking forward to this. You know, I mentioned that 4570 I bought a couple of weeks ago from my buddy. It's cut down barrel. It's a little over 16 inches. It's got these Skinner sights on it. It's pretty sweet. A little Marlin lever action. And got some of the Black Hills ammo Honey Badger ammo for this. We shot some of that. In fact, it's showing up in our shows right now in the Guns and Gear show on Sportsman Channel. Honey Badger ammo is amazing stuff, and I think it's going to be the bomb in this thing. Deep penetrating, does not expand, but it does a lot of damage. It's just different, completely different. If you haven't seen it, you got to look at it. But I'm excited. It's a little bit lighter bullet, and that should reduce the recoil a little bit in this lightweight 4570, and that will be quite a bit appreciated. Barry's in Anchorage, Alaska, line 4. Hello, Barry, you're up.
I'm up. Well, I had a Alexander Arms Hunter in 6.5 Grendel that was 18 inches long.
Okay.
Buffalo Life caribou gun. She said she didn't need it, so I put it away and forgot about it for about a decade. Pulled the gun out, took the barrel off because I wanted to put a 300. I wanted a 300 blackout.
Okay.
Then later I came up and said, you know, I really like side cocking, and I got a Gibbs side cocking upper.
Okay.
Put the 18-inch Grendel back on it, and all the function checks worked out okay. Took it out the range. Gun went bang. Nothing ejected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pulled magazine out. Couldn't pull the bolt back. Put the foot on the handle. Couldn't force it out. Took it home. Put a brass cleaning rod down it. Tapped it out.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Then I started looking at it, doing double checks.
Yeah.
Started disassembling it, pulled the gas port off.
What'd you discover?
I discovered that I put the gas port on upside down.
Ah.
And I've had people tell me you can't do that.
Huh.
Damn. I'm sorry, I did.
You say, I have skills. I can do that.
I can do that. The gas tube fit in the bolt pocket. It wasn't impinging on anything going in, but damn, if the hole in the gas port wasn't facing up instead of down, and it's like, well, let's turn this thing right side up and pin it back in and reassemble it, and it works just fine.
See, and you actually get to use some of your gunsmithing words when that happens too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's great. I appreciate you sharing that. That's kind of, one of the things you go, oh, okay, we'll figure this thing out. But you had fun in the process, I take it.
Oh yeah. I got a gun that I can shoot prone and not have to extend the stock to get the cheek pad out of the way when I need to cycle the bolt. And
nice.
I like the combination. I'm taking it. Actually, I think I'm going to take it moose hunting this year.
With the 6.5 Grendel for moose?
Yeah.
Nice.
140 grain bullet, and we're only looking at spike forks,
right?
Which means I'll probably run into a 60-incher. And
Of course. Well, do me a favor. If you get yourself a moose with this, call me back and give us a great range report on that, okay?
I will do that.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate that. Let's drop down line 2. Howard's with us in Ocala, Florida. Hello, Howard. You got a range report for us?
Yes, I do, Tom. First, I want to give compliments to manufacturers within the industry.
Yeah?
Had a little staycation about a month ago. Went through the old gun safe and pulled out 3 optics that had kind of went Tango uniform on me.
Mm-hmm.
And contacted the vendors. Went through the online process, sent them back, and got a brand new Vortex Crossfire. LiPo Delta points on its way, and EOTech gave me 50% off a new optic or a new hollow sight because what I had they don't make anymore.
Isn't it amazing how often we hear these stories about companies in the firearms industry? They just take care of customers. It's like, because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get the runaround, I'm going to hassle, I've had this thing for years, and you send it back in, they go, yeah, no problem, we'll either fix it or replace it. It's not a problem. You'll have it back in a week. Cool.
That's right. And I've got one more range report for you about a new shooter if I have the time.
Yeah? Got to go quick. I got 30 seconds, so go.
Okay. Real quick. Took a new shooter out, and at the end of the day, I had about 11 rounds left for my 1911, and I shot at we had 2 quart chugs left. I shot at the first one, missed the first shot, missed the third shot, turned on the laser, and hit it after the second shot on the laser, and handed it to him for his jug, and you know what he did.
Yeah, he just hammered it, didn't he?
That's right.
That's great. Good for you for taking a new shooter out. And, man, lasers really rock. And the whole thing is when you take a new shooter out, make sure they hit the target. Make sure they have success. I don't care, you have to move up to 3 feet. Just make sure they're hitting the target, because if they're having fun, they're going to come back. Don't go far. You'll come back. I thought this might bear repeating. We've mentioned it in the past, but it's been a while and there are new people around. You may not be aware of this, the work that the firearms industry does for gun safety. There's a bill that got passed called Fix NICS. Basically, after the Sutherland Springs church shooting, which, by the way, was stopped by a citizen with his AR-15. Oh, yeah, that. We found out that the guy who was doing the shooting there slipped through the background check system because the Air Force hadn't reported his problems, and he wasn't in the database. So the gun makers got together and said, hey, we got to fix this. If we're going to have a background check, if we're going to have a database, the database needs to be accurate. If it's not accurate, then it's not working. So we pushed, and we got Congress to pass and got the president to sign the FIX-NICS, N-I-C-S, National Instant Check System, background check system. So we got FIX-NICS done. So instead of like 2 million, now there's 5 million in the database. So we actually have good information there. Look, nobody on the gun side wants the wrong people to have guns. Nobody wants to have people who've been adjudicated mentally ill to have guns, or to have criminals have guns, right? Convicted felons. So we did that. We, the firearms industry. We also have Project Child Safe. Who, sounded like an owl here, who has given away 40 million gun locks, given them away? The firearms makers, the firearms industry, the gun industry, the National Shooting Sports Foundation. The program is called Project Child Safe. 40 million gun locks given away. Not the Brady campaign, not Everytown, not Mom's Demand, not Bloomberg. They actually don't do anything for gun safety. They've never taught a gun safety class. Never given away a gun lock, much less 40 million gun locks. If somebody says, hey, I would like to have my gun secured, I can't afford it, not a problem. We got it for you. We got gun locks for you. Oh, yeah, Project Child Safe, that's done through the local police departments. So the police departments administer the program. The gun makers just provide the safety kits, which include gun locks. Strange. The media never mentions gun makers pushing and teaching gun safety. Who teaches gun safety anyway? Firearms instructors, not anti-gun people. They've tried to usurp and take over the word gun safety, the term gun safety, but they don't teach any classes. All they do is say no guns, no guns, no guns. That's their idea of gun safety. Doesn't work, never has. Now, education does work. We know that. Accidental gunshot deaths of children are at the lowest point in recorded history in the U.S. Murders are down by 50%. That's astounding. That's phenomenal. Gun crime's down 70%. FBI numbers, 70%. Everybody should be dancing in the streets with that good news. Yeah, no. More people are killed with fists and feet than they are with rifles. Strange, huh? And yet they want to ban our semi-automatic rifles. So a lot of our folks are saying, I'm going to buy more guns, and I'm going to buy magazines, I'm going to buy ammo, and I'm going to stock it all, and I'm going to be ready in case they ban them. Could I offer a thought? How about taking some of that money and some of that effort and get involved in fighting for gun rights? Because, you know, if we could stop them, then you don't have to do all that silly stuff. Some people say, well, why not do both? Okay, fine. But get involved. Write a check. Show up. Be there. Don't hoard. Get on board. Be part of the solution. You got to do it now. Because if you're not, I'm sorry, I got very little use for you. If you'd like to be part of the after show, call me right now, 866-TALK-GUN. In the meantime, get on board. This is the week to contact your legislators. They're actually considering gun bills right now.